Catalysis is the fourth out of four dimensions of total art that I've been covering. And the basic idea of this one is that a total art project has to in part conceive of itself as an enzyme for the transformation of society into something else, and to have that in mind in a really concrete way, because that's something that people say all the time, but in reality, most art is made in relation to the consumer, right? So like most of what we think of as fine art or as entertainment industry adjacent art is in principle like it has an audience that is a consumer, whether it's a collector or a fan or a viewer, a public, and the premium that we place on originality and being gripping or just all the things that one sort of endorses in art. It's part of a horizon that involves there being a consumer, and that has not always been the case. Sacred art, pre-modern art was not like that, and any type of art in the current, it sort of has to, you just don't. So, to a certain degree, it has to assume that it's being presented to a consumer, because otherwise it doesn't show up. However, one has to take seriously that the aesthetic domain is not, it's older than that, and it will survive it. So like, and then with music, drama, and philosophy, I sort of think of it from three directions. So with drama, it's really catalysis. It's really like it's an enzyme where like there is some kind of action or event, sort of heroic deed or something like that, that is a kind of explosion, a sort of chemical reaction that is unforeseen, that redefines the categories we take for granted in how we run society. In music, it's more like an ideal of a like society being somehow like the social bond being a piece of music, like a piece of classical music, where it's like the performing and the listening and the composition of the piece are all kind of happening at the same time, like a live performance of music. You can imagine civilization where that's not restricted to the aesthetic domain. It is the overarching structure of society, and that's really maybe the key to catalysis that I didn't quite explain before. That's really what it's a matter of. It's like the aesthetic domain no longer being cordoned off, and also the political domain no longer being sort of having its aesthetic character disavowed. Where it's like right now we have like propaganda or ideology, which is this kind of disavowed aesthetics, split off from like fine art or just entertainment or whatever, which is avowed art, and it's kind of a distraction in a way. Not entirely. I think it's good also, but so it would be the union of those things. And then in philosophy, it's truly a matter of sort of having like the music version and the drama version are a little more magical, a little more like intuitive. The philosophy version is just, having a concrete theory of eschatology, which is what I discussed in the previous section. So that's catalysis. And so we did integration, coalescence, irrigation, catalysis. Are the four wings of metaperichoresis, which is total art. Integration involves tying together and really sort of blending in a kind of challenging way different modes of attention within particular domains, like just music or just philosophy or just drama. Coalescence is weaving philosophy, drama, and music into an ongoing world where they kind of interlock, like a philosophical foundation for music, and then music as an amplifying foundation for drama, and then drama as a kind of aesthetic foundation for philosophy, but all of them are kind of evolving, all of them are creative works. So that's at the level of the work. That's coalescence. Irrigation is in relationships to different cultural milieus or cultural institutions. You sort of interact with them, but don't give yourself to them, and instead you're sort of have a grappling hook in these different domains, and you irrigate the attention economy of those domains into your own self-realization or your own sort of mission. And then catalysis is that all of that is aiming at catalyzing a new eon for civilization.